Let's look at our notes from the last lesson, linear transformations. So for linear transformation, we are comparing lines graphed to our linear parent function, f of x equals x or y equals x. So these are all the changes. The negative will reflect. The a, the number in front of f of x, kind of like the slope, will determine the steepness. And then plus or minus some number will determine how it's shifted up or down. So let's look at the multiple transformation. So this is going to help you on your assignment for today also. So we look at each individual part. I'm going to look at the negative first. The negative is the reflection. So it's going to be reflected. Yeah, we do. The 2 is going to determine steepness. So if it's greater than 1, it's more steep. If it's between 0 and 1, it's less steep. So this is steeper. And then the plus 6 is going to be shifting vertically. So this would be shift up 6. Then when you graph it, you graph according to your y-intercept first, because this can be written as, instead of doing f of x right here, we're just going to do negative 2x plus 6, and then you'll graph it. So we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 2 over 1 for your slope. Make all of your pretty points. And then up and left. You use your straight edge to make it straight. So whenever you look at it, you can tell it's reflected. The original parent function is a positive slope. The new function is a negative slope. It's shifted up by 6, and it's also steeper. Okay, whenever you finish these notes, you'll glue them in. Let's look at today's assignment. So it follows the same concept. So keep your notes out as you're doing the assignment. I'm going to do one of them with you. Number 1 is similar to the one that we just did in our notes. So I'm not going to do that one with you. I'm going to do number 4 with you. So what the instructions say for 1 through 6 is describe what transformation is occurring. So you're going to look at all the parts. So you look at what's out front and negative. So it's going to be reflected. That is the negative. If there was a number in front of the f of x, that would determine steepness. And then the next part would be the minus 3, which is the k. That determines either up or down. Since it says minus, it's going to shift down by 3 units. I'll let you leave off units. Just put shift down 3. So 1 through 6, you'll do all the same. The only one I caution you on is number 6. There is a negative, but there's also a 5 over 2. So you have to determine if 5 over 2 is greater than 1, making it steeper, or 5 over 2 is less than 1, making it less steep. You can change it to a decimal if you want, so you can compare. And that'll help you determine whether it's greater than 1 or less than 1. So each of these has a bullet for how many transformations they will undergo. Okay, let's look at 7 through 12. 7 through 12 says, write the equation that represents the change that occurred. I'm going to look at number 8. The linear parent function reflected has a slope of 5 over 3 and is shifted down 3 units. So the whole reflected, that means we have one transformation there. A slope of 5 over 3 tells us we have a steepness change. And then down 3 is the plus or minus k. So the reflected means it's going to be y equals a negative, because that's the reflected. This is my slope, and this is the k. Down 3 is k. So it'll be negative, slope is 5 over 3, x, and then down 3, so minus 3. So I'll have you write it in the y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so you'll complete those problems. Okay, we have one more side to look at. The back says, check the box that correctly identifies the transformations for each of the given slope. So you're going to check them off. None of them will have all of the checks. There's only one check here, one check between these two, and one check between these two, because you can't be more steep and less steep. You can't shift up and shift down, so you got to pick one. So let's look at the first one. Y equals 4x. So what's changed? The slope of 4. So it's not going to be a reflect. More steep, is a greater than 1? Yes. Is it a shift up or down? No. Okay, what about the next one? Y equals x plus half. The plus half is what changed, and that is the k right here. So is it going to shift up or down if it's a plus? It's going to go up. So you're going to go through each of these and put little check marks by all of them. Let's see one that has all 3 transformations. What about the last one? Y'all look at the last one. The negative does a reflection. What does 12 do? More steep. And what does plus 6 do? Shift up. Okay, that's it. All right, so you're going to work through this quietly and finish it up, and then you can work on your slope playlist or your journal.